Okay, for my first video I'm going to be showing you the basics of trigonometry, so basically the definitions of sine, cosine, and tangent. So here we have a right triangle, because it has a right angle, it's a right triangle. And this is what you use a right triangle. That means you can use sine, cosine, and tangent. So let's start with sine. So sine is spelled like this, but we usually abbreviate it as like sin. So sin means it means the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So let's just say we have a 30-degree angle here and a 60-degree angle here. And so that 30 plus 60 plus 90 equals 180. Every triangle needs to have 180 degrees in it. So let me write opposite over hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is this long diagonal edge, the one across from the right angle. So when you say sine, let's pretend we've got this side is 2 units or inches or whatever you want to say long. This one is 1, and this one is square root of 3. And if you add those, you multiply and square those up and add them with the Pythagorean theorem, that all checks out. So if you want the sine, let's say you want sine of 30 degrees, all you do is you take 30 degrees, you find the side that's opposite it, so just straight across opposite it. So that's 1 is on top. And then you find the hypotenuse, that's 2. So the sine of 30 degrees right in this triangle is 1/2. Alright, now you know what sine is. So now we're going to do cosine with the same triangle. It's spelled like this, but when you abbreviate, you just put cos. So let's say we want to find the cosine of 30 degrees. Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So adjacent means next to. So here, let's say, write down the cosine of the 30 degrees in this triangle. So there's two sides next to the 30 degrees. We got this 2 here and this square root of 3 over here. But we know that this one is the hypotenuse, so the adjacent one must be this square root of 3. So the adjacent side is square root of 3 over, again, the hypotenuse right here, 2. So right here we have the cosine of 30 degrees in this specific triangle. And lastly, we have tangent. So up here we have, this is tangent, but when you abbreviate it, it's just tan. And the tangent is the opposite side over the adjacent side. So if you wanted tangent of 30 degrees in this triangle, you would just look at the opposite one, that's 1. And then the adjacent we found is not the hypotenuse, this is the hypotenuse, it's not the adjacent one, so it must be square root of 3. Tangent of 30 degrees in this triangle is square root of 3. And so you can do this again for the 60 degrees, like sine of 60 degrees. You just go opposite over hypotenuse. It would be square root of 3 over 2. You can do it, and now you know how to find sine, cosine, and tangent.